which is battling crises on multiple fronts. The price of the Pakistani rupee has now hit a double century. The country's economy is in a slump. And as if that wasn't enough, there is political instability, one that continues to take a toll on the nation. And in the middle of all these troubles, the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is now expected to make his maiden State of the Nation address later in the day. Local reports indicate that consultations were held on the points of Sharif's address and that the Pak Prime Minister may speak on the country's deteriorating economic situation. Reports citing sources close to the matter say that Shehbaz Sharif has given up his official engagements and instead he held consultations with the party leaders on the country's economic and political issues. On the other hand, the Pakistani media reports say that the former Prime Minister Imran Khan will give a final call to party workers and supporters for the Islamabad march. Khan is expected to make the appeal at his Multan rally later in the day. This will be the latest in a series of power shows that Imran Khan's PTI has organized since his ouster. Speaking to the Pak media, the former Prime Minister said that the aim behind these rallies is quote-unquote attaining real freedom through the removal of the incumbent imported rulers. Meanwhile, a war of words has broken out between the ruling PMLN and the ousted PTI. The PMLN Vice President and the daughter of former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, Maryam Nawaz, took a dig at Imran Khan. She called him incompetent and said that it is better to leave the government than to burden the people of Pakistan with massive inflation. Maryam made these remarks while speaking at a party rally.
एक नालायक को बुलाकर पाकिस्तान के 22 करोड़ अवाम के सरों पर मुसल्लत कर दिया गया और 3-3.5 साल के अंदर लोड शेडिंग वापस आ गई, मईशत तबाह हो गई, बल्कि वेंटिलेटर पे चली गई, कर्जों के बोझ तले 22 करोड़ अवाम को दबा दिया, एक ईंट लगाए बगैर।
Let's talk about what's happening in Pakistan at the moment. It is currently battling multiple crises. There's an economic crisis ongoing. And all of this is mired in political instability, of course. And all this is happening while a new Prime Minister has taken reins. That is Shehbaz Sharif. And the big question is, does he have a plan in place to tackle the economic crisis, which has further been compounded by the political instability in the country? Remember, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is now expected to make his maiden State of the Nation address later in the day. And all eyes will be on the remarks made by the new Prime Minister. The local reports in the country indicate that consultations were held on points that are likely to come up in this address. Rumour has it that the Pak Prime Minister may speak on the country's deteriorating economic situation, which is of course affecting the people of Pakistan. Reports also say that Shehbaz Sharif has given up all his official engagements and instead held consultations with the party leaders. Now, to understand what is coming up at this address, our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik now joins us live for more details. Anas, thanks for joining us. The new Prime Minister essentially has inherited an economic crisis on his hands. Is there a plan in place to revive the economy while battling the political instability?
Well, the plan is that they've already declared a state of economic emergency. They've banned a handful of about 39 products that includes chocolates, cosmetics, luxury items, mobile phones, cars. There's a long list of items that has been banned and the government says, or rather the government hopes to curtail their import bill through the ban of such products. They're saying that they have to take drastic measures to get the economy back on its feet, and for that they need some assurances, some of which they don't seem to get, at least for now. There are multiple challenges this government is currently facing. One that is of the IMF, the talks are currently ongoing because Pakistan needs that bailout very desperately. If it's not from the IMF, then it can be from any of the countries. Then there is the political instability that is there, back and forth we've heard. And just as I went live, there are reports in the Pakistani media that Nawaz Sharif, the brother of Shehbaz Sharif, the PMLN Supremo, has given a nod, a green signal to detach themselves, the PMLN, from the incumbent government. and rather call for fresh elections. Today, there is high political drama that's ongoing. Today, the Election Commission of Pakistan has de-seated 25 PTI MPs, those who had crossed the floor to vote in favor of Hamza Shehbaz. So all is unfolding here in Pakistan, and the challenges don't seem to die down for the newly sworn-in government. Priyanka?
Right, Anas, since you mentioned this recent crisis in the political governance sector especially, let's talk about the political instability in the country a bit more. Help our viewers understand, what does this recent move by the Election Commission mean for the government in Pakistan?
Well, at this point of time, it is still unclear. There are two opinions that are coming out. One, that Hamza Shehbaz would be de-seated immediately. He's the son of the incumbent Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. That's happened. The move has happened essentially in Pakistan's biggest province, the province of Punjab, where 25 MPs, for those belonging to the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, they had formed a forward bloc and then eventually voted against their party guidelines or instructions. They crossed the floor to vote in favor of Hamza Shehbaz, an arch political opponent. Now, there are two different opinions. One that says that with the de-seating of these 25 MPs, Hamza Shehbaz's legal status, that of a chief minister, comes into question, and that he will be de-seated as well, or rather de-notified. The other is that with regards to the rules of the assembly, that says that in case if any of the parties is not claiming majority or attaining majority, then the one that has more numbers in the House, that can possibly claim to have their chief minister. That is a legal debate for now, and the interpretation to which can only be done from the Election Commission, and we're expecting that to be done in probably some hours to come from now. Priyanka?
Right, Anas, thanks for summing that up so well for us. Thanks for joining us on WION with the latest from Pakistan. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.